Hi everyone, my name is Bridget Kirby. I'm Director of Visual Merchandising and Chain Marketing for John Paul Mitchell Systems. And today I'm chatting with Kim Bennett, Independent Stylist Business Development Manager for here at John Paul Mitchell Systems. She's also a stylist extraordinaire and, fun fact, has been a Paul Mitchell Focus Salon suite owner for 17 years. So I'd like to start by discussing salon suites. And even though a stylist might have a small space, they can still have a big, memorable experience. So Kim, what advice do you have for a salon suite stylist and the kind of guest experience that they can create in their smaller space?
Thank you so much, Bridget, for having me. My first aspect of thinking of what that experience would look like is you probably should embrace that you are going to be wearing a few hats now that are a little different than just being a stylist. So you need to look at all aspects of how to generate revenue in your studio or your suite, and as a business owner as well. So for me personally, I kind of look at my studio or suite as like there's four corners in this small studio space that I'm in, but I kind of look at it as looking at generate revenue in each corner. When you walk in, first obviously you see that amazing styling chair, so that would be one corner. I also have a color bar where I mix color, magic happens there, and then of course last but not least there's the shampoo area and then the retail take-home area as well. So that's probably where I generated that experience, the first part of like walking in my studio and seeing these four key areas, and as a stylist putting that hat on as a business owner and looking at how you can generate revenue for yourself.
Wow, I mean, I love that you've divided it into four different areas. And I was lucky enough to kind of get a walkthrough of Kim's space a few weeks ago via Zoom. Can you give us any advice for stylists on how they can create their own branded experience? Like little unique touches that you have done in your space?
Well, I think when you're looking at creating your own brand, when you go on your own, you can follow whatever your dream is going to be, but I think it can get overwhelming. And my advice usually when you're creating your own brand is really just figuring out what your brand promise is going to be, and that you can't really be everything to everyone. So really try to narrow down what that brand promise is, whether you're a long extension expert or maybe a balayage expert. That typically leads the way for you whenever you're creating what that brand experience is going to look like. For example, for me, I like to focus on the whole experience for my guest in the salon when they come in with me. I love to share my love and light with everyone, and I find that I call myself a hairstylist, not just a hairstylist, and listening has always guided my way. So for me, that brand experience is to embrace their problems, that whatever that they need in the salon, and be able to answer and provide solutions for their whole experience. So that's my brand promise.
So it really does sound like the amount of space in a salon doesn't have to dictate the experience. Can you kind of walk us through the journey that your guest has when they come into your salon suite?
Oh, I love to talk about the journey for my guest. I find that very important because when you're in a salon suite, you really have to think of where that start to finish is. I don't have a receptionist in my building, so you have to start thinking creatively and differently so you can still give this amazing experience from the point that they arrive till all the way till when they leave. So for me, I needed to research a great online booking service. How are they communicating with me before and after? Also, when they walk in, do they know where to go? Do you need to give them a tour? Do you need to point out other services that are in the building? Do they know where the restroom is? All these things are very, very important when you go to any type of salon. So you just have to think what it looks like in their shoes when they're coming and arriving, and what that service feels like. Obviously, that's where you're the expert. That's where the magic happens. But then also what's important to me is when they leave, are they making sure they're being taken care of? When their next appointment is, when they leave, are they getting take home to be able to duplicate their look at home, since we just did all that problem solving with them when they were with you. So the journey is so important with all aspects of all salons. So when you go into a salon suite, you really want to make sure that you focus on just what that journey looks like from the moment they find you to walking into the door to having a great experience, and what it also feels like where they can take you with them when they leave.
I also wanted to highlight something that you had mentioned when we chatted a few weeks ago. You have a really cool wash house experience. Again, you're in a small suite, but could you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yes. So again, the experience is my brand promise. So a few years ago, I actually did a remodel of my studio. I have been in there for 17 years this summer. So when I did the remodel, it wasn't just about the paint on the walls and visually what it all looked like and the experience from every aspect. So when I focused on the shampoo area, I knew I didn't have this amazing wash house space, but how could I create it to be this wonderful experience for my guests? So I chose a chair that just put their feet up. I also chose a bowl that was adjustable because I know that it's different for everyone and there's all sizes for everyone. So I wanted everyone to feel comfortable in the bowl. I listened to whatever people talked about. Also, and to sidebar, on my styling stations, I put up a lidded mirror. And so it gives them a beautiful look, because I would hear, oh, I don't like these fluorescent lights. I don't like how I look when I look in the mirror. I wanted them to love looking at themselves in the mirror. So on that note, so I actually dim the lights when I take them over to the shampoo area. Those lighted mirrors create a nice ambiance so they can just relax. So when you turn those lights off, it just sets the mood. Even though I don't have this huge space to bring them into this quiet area, it makes it quiet. It gives them this moment to just take a minute for themselves. And then what's really fun is it's on a motion sensor. So once I'm done and I get them back up on their feet and they walk over to the styling station, the lights come on, and then it's like, okay, now the magic's gonna happen over here.
It really does sound like a magical experience, and I think there's so much valid information that salon suites can take from this conversation today. So thank you so much.